welcome back to the channel. I don't know, y'all recognize this? Nice little pretty center console. Anyway, guys, real quick, hold on. Alright, real quick. Guys, this is a Jeep Cherokee Latitude, I want to say, maybe 2015. Alright, and y'all can see from the look of the dash what they in for. Alright, and I've also been told what that fault code stands for, or what that fault code is all about. And ladies and gentlemen, it is a P0128. A lot of y'all recognize that code. I've heard of that code. I've seen countless videos from me concerning that code. Well, here we are again, guys. Yes, thermostat. This obviously has a 2.4 multi-air engine in it. And these thermostats can be kind of, a little pain, all right? But they didn't want to do it, and they had to find somebody to do it, so I chose to do it. Anyway, guys, because I already have countless videos doing the thermostat, I'm not going to record this one, but I want to update y'all on some things that I've learned since that video. Yes, believe me, there's more you can learn to make that job even faster, all right? So, I'm going to get out of the car, and we're going to go into the hood and talk some more, guys. Let's get it, man. Okay, guys. Yes, I knew it was 2.4. Look at that. You can see whoever did it last didn't even put stuff back on it, man. And on top of that, it looks like an aftermarket thermostat. I spoke on that a while back. The risk and the danger in using aftermarket parts on such a real hard job. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to do this big old job, it's not really a big job. I'm saying that because if you haven't done one, you would think it's a big job. Because I have done several, it's not a big job to me. But listen. Okay, good guys. So if you're going to go back in with quality parts. Also, another thing I want to update you guys on. This is the second time this thermostat been done. I highly suggest you run the control number on your PCM and make sure it is up to date. Okay, they came out with a flash update, some improvements concerning that code. I want to say basically all they did was desensitize it. All right, it was fairly sensitive as to how easy it was to set. Okay, and make sure this is up to date. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not just gonna put a thermostat on, fill it up with coolant, and give it to the customer. I'm gonna go drive it, verify the heat work, verify the coolant is circulating, and verify that the computer is up to date. Yes. Okay. So it was one more update I want to show you guys. Like I say, I already done a video on that, and I'm just gonna add that video into this video. And the only update I have to that video, because I do them all that same way, is I'm gonna show you. All right, guys, remember how I explained to you how to tape up your 10mm to get down in there? All right, that was to remove it. Okay, you have no choice. All right, they're all gonna be 10mm on the thermostat. All right, so what you can do, this if you're not gonna use, see somebody put this bracket back, but it's not even on right. If you're not going to reuse your bracket, I'm not going to sit here and lie, a lot of people don't put the bracket back on. Take one of these 5/16 heads and put in that bottom right corner thermostat housing. Okay, the same thread size, is just a smaller head. Instead of a 10mm, it would be 8mm, 5/16mm, something like that. Okay, that would give you more turning space. Okay, with the 10, you only have a little room to work with. Okay, so it would be so much nicer if those bolts was 8mm or either 5/16. So that is one of the other updates, one of the only updates I have for that video. I meant to mention that during that video, but I didn't get around to it. I would think I was pressed for time, but at any rate, that is the update. So that's just an option, guys. You don't have to. If you can get that joker back on, by all means, go for it. It just seems to make my life easier when I do that. Because a lot of guys, they didn't got to resorted to extreme trickery. I seen a guy bust the head off right here. I mean, he know he's not going to reuse the old thermostat, so he just busted open. The only risk you take is you could break it right here on the cylinder head, and you don't want that, because then you may end up needing a head. But that's all I have, guys. So what I'm gonna do is attach my remove thermostat remover on the 2.4 multi-air engine. Okay, I'm gonna attach that video in this video. Now, I caught a lot of flack for not showing how it was installed. I tend to say this a lot. It's just mere reversal of the removal process. Okay, but I should have said in that video, you do need to refill it, you do need to bleed it, and you do need to drive it. So I'm gonna take that time out to say that now. All right, as far as bleeding it, this is, I'm not a firm believer in self-bleeding system, but it does well. Okay, just pour the I use my bleeder funnel. Okay, so that helps me out with bleeding, so I haven't had any problem refilling it and getting all the air out. So that's all I have, guys. I'm gonna wrap this up the JT way. Now let's get it, man. First, remove the engine cover. We want to get the engine cover out of the way. Okay, next, what we need to do, and the very important thing to do, is remove the battery terminal. That's right, we don't need no electricity running through the system while we do this. And next, what we want to do is remove the PCM. Get it out your way. It was completely in my way. I don't need any kind of distraction or any kind of computers in my way while I do this. But I want you to remember something, man. This bolt over here on this side of the PCM have a ground strap, so please don't forget to put that back on. So let's get the PCM totally out of the way. All right, now we need to remove some of the electrical connectors. Anything you can see that's electrical, we got to get it out the way. Let's release this quick connect right here to remove this water hose right here. I hope you got a bucket under the bottom, because you're gonna lose some coolant. All right, this is if you haven't removed the coolant in the first place. Okay, we got that hose out of the way. Next, what we want to do is I'm gonna need a set of pliers for this, man. I had to get some pointed type pliers. So I gotta reach down in there and slowly but surely push in the terminals so we can remove this hose right here. Okay, next, what we want to do is time for the oil pump to come off. I mean the vacuum pump. We got to get the vacuum pump out the way. It's held on by 3 bolts, ladies and gentlemen. Let's remove all 3 bolts. That would make it easier to remove. All right, after the last bolt out, just simply wiggle the vacuum pump back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until you get it out. All right, let's lay that thing to the side, because we will need it later during reassembly. All right, now it's time to release. Oh, I got a poppy pop right there. That's okay. No damage done. Now we got to remove the connector off the coolant temp sensor. Next, what I'm about to do, that's the thermostat housing, ladies and gentlemen. That's the thing we're chasing. That's what we got to get removed. Okay, but it's a 10mm bolt right down there holding a bracket that's also holding a water hose. And once we get the water hose out the way, we simply grab your 10mm socket and remove this 10mm nut. It is in my way. Okay, now that we got that out the way, what are we doing next? What are we doing next? So we simply reposition the bracket. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what's next? What's next? What's next? Okay, radiator hoses. We need to get that out the way, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, grab a pair of pliers, remove it out the way, then get you a hose pick so you can break the seal loose off the hose. That would make the hose easier to remove, like this. Again, I hope you got a drain bucket under the bottom. We got that out the way. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we want to do now is start removing the thermostat housing bolts. As you know, there is 4 of them. Okay, the top 2 tins are real easy. Once you get this bracket, get all the bolts off the bracket, because you will not be able to remove the bracket just yet until the thermostat is all the way loose. Now, I grabbed me a 6-inch, 1/4-inch extension, a 12-inch extension, and here's my swivel socket sets I'm gonna use. But first, a little trickery I want to show y'all. This is something I learned a long time ago. Grab your extension. Let's get this 8mm bolts off first, okay? They just seems to be the easiest, because the hardest one is the 10mm on the bottom right. These 2 here are easy. You got a 5/16 holding a little bitty bracket on it. All right, and once that, like I said earlier, man, you cannot remove this bracket just yet. The thermostat have to be loose. Okay, so let's remove the bottom left
8mm bolt. Let's get it out the way. All right. And now it is time for, what are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, I got to get that nut out of there. I got it out. It is time for some trickery, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you a little trick I learned a long time ago. Put your swivel socket on there on your extension. What we want to do is tape this thing up, because we do not want to lose this expensive 10mm max socket that I have right here. So what I'm going to do is completely tape it to my extension. I mean, tape it real good. I will not lose this socket. I will not lose another 10mm socket doing a thermostat on the 2.4. Now the hardest part is positioning the 10mm socket with your extension. We're going to make sure it connects to the 10mm bolt. That is the hardest part of the complete job, ladies and gentlemen. All right, you got to finagle your hand. You got to find a way to get it in there. You got to find a way to make sure it contacts the socket. Once you figure that out, grab your ratchet, simply screw the 10mm out. That is the hardest part of the whole complete job. Do not lose it. You don't want to drop the nut, so you could simply hang on to the extension, reach down under there, grab the socket, and slowly but surely pull your extension and hopefully the nut out at the same time, just like this, ladies and gentlemen. That was not easy. That is the hardest part of the whole job. The rest of the way is pretty simple. Now let's get this bracket off of the thermostat housing, because once we do that, ladies and gentlemen, removing the thermostat housing will be pretty easy. But we got one more hurdle we got to cross, okay? Now that I got the thermostat housing off of the cylinder head, I can now move this bracket. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's up to you if you want to reuse this bracket or not. I suggest you do. I don't think they put any parts on a car for no purpose at all. It has to be on for a purpose. All right, so this last little hurdle is this pin. This pin right here is holding this coolant hose onto the thermostat housing. So take your pick and slowly but surely release the pin out of its secured place, but you don't want to drop the pin, ladies and gentlemen. So be very extremely careful. Reach down there and grab the pin with your hand and bring it up. Now you can simply remove the hose from the thermostat housing. And voila, there you have it, people. The thermostat housing on a 2.4 liter multi-air engine. This can be found in the Jeep Cherokee 2.4 liter, like I say. That's it, man. You simply open your brand new, hopefully it's a brand new thermostat housing. It comes complete with the thermostat already in it. Simply reverse the removal procedure and you are home free, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want this video to be long. I jumped right into it, so I'm going to jump right out of it. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.